We'll embark on a transformative quest for spiritual truth with Path of Faith as we explore the mysteries of faith and the boundless love of God. Father Fabio, insecurity, fear, anxiety, and the intense conflict between reason and the deepest desire of my heart. Live, distressed, depressed, confused. Everything I do in life usually goes wrong. I want to live a full life. I want to be happy. A simple and complicated life. It's just what I want. I once heard, watching a lecture from the Lord, that born it hurts, and that is born again hurts even more. I am trying to be born again because I live a life of sin, and I confess that it really hurts. I want to deliver my life to God. I ask the Lord to help me, and the Lord leads me in the direction from all that I give you. I consider it a good, honest, hardworking, intelligent, dear family and people. But I really need a change. I am willing to give my life to God, and from there, Vanderson. They're from Pedralva, Minas Gerais. Thank you, Vanderson. Thanks for the testimony, which is also a sharing. While you talk about your struggles, you also talk about your hopes. This is important. Vanderson, in life, we need to discover our place, right? I believe that all these anxieties that are proper. I don't know what your age is, but I feel that you live a moment of a lot of conflicts. We all go through this, right? Psychology calls this a normative crisis. Why is it normative? Because it's normal. Everyone goes by. I pass, you pass, Ivan also passes, the people who are here. There are some phases of our lives that these crises are more acute. The first major crisis, for example, that we face from an existential point of view, it is precisely adolescence. Because in adolescence, we live a phase of transition. We are no longer the child who was, but we are not the adult anymore. So this phase is a phase of existential discomfort. Everyone who lives with a teenager knows. The teenager is a little angry. He thinks the world is all wrong. He does not feel understood by anyone. Does normative is part of life. When we live these phases, and it can come at other times in life, there are some professionals who say that every end for us, it will always be conflict. Because we end. We are finishing a phase of life, starting another, 9, 19, 20, 9, 39, 39, 39. Every time we go through these transitions, it is natural that we live. But it is also natural that the experience of these conflicts and healthy experience of these crises come to put us in a context of wisdom, so that we do not think that this crisis is life. It is a very difficult differentiation to do, but we need to do it too. The crisis I'm living cannot be confused with the life I have. Sometimes it can be very bulky and give me this illusion that my whole life is in crisis. No. Sometimes I have one or another crisis. For example, in the family context, I can have a crisis of faith. In my religious, spiritual context, I can suddenly have a crisis with a friend, right? I can suddenly have a crisis with boyfriend, girlfriend, brother. The big problem is when that point, that punctual situation, punctuated, begins to cover all life. Then, the conflict you had in effective life begins to disturb your professional life, your family life, your spiritual life. Then the crisis is like a river that received too much water and does not fit inside it. What does it do? It overflows. What we can do? Manage the crisis well. First, find out why it exists. Why am I distressed? Why am I so depressed? Why am I so full of anxieties, insecurities, fears? Which are the words you used? Why is all this today in your story? So instead of looking at all this incompletely, totalizing, right? Try to particularize. Where is this discomfort born? Of course, it has an origin. Of course, he has a cause. We know that it is no use for trying to take care of the effect if we do not sink it. Isn't it like this? If I have an infection, it's no use just taking off the fever. I have to find out the cause of the infection and work the cause of this infection that naturally fever goes away. Crisis is usually a fever. It is a fever that will hurt us and will remove our tranquility because something is in disharmony. And then, my son, you need to know. It may be that your crisis is directly linked to your ignorance of what your place is in the world. My people. That's so important. Life needs to refer us to this comfort. I think we all deserve this. At one point, you have that satisfaction of knowing, I'm in the right place. I chose right. I have problems, but I'm in the right place because we won't tolerate the difficulties if we are in the wrong place. If we are in the right place, if we are doing our lives what we really know that should do, the difficulties that will be proper to this context will be easily administered. A lot of people cannot manage the difficult present moment. It is precisely because they are aware that it is making a terrible mistake. It is making an attack on one's life. It's that old story. My God in heaven, I'm wasting my life with a profession that doesn't satisfy me. It is as if at some point in my life I found that I am an unfortunate priest, that I should not have been a priest, that I was a priest for accident. It would be terrible. Just as some colleagues of mine found that they were priests not because they wanted to, or because they were pushed in the formative process themselves, or because they had no courage to leave the seminar. They had no courage to counteract their mother, counteract their father, the godmother who already he had chosen, who had already bought him for him. And then he was there, in a life of unhappiness, of unrealization. Why? Then all the difficulties that are proper to the priest's life, he will not tolerate. Why? Because he didn't want to be a priest. He got a priest for accident. It's like marrying the wrong person either. I didn't want to marry that person. I didn't love them enough. That is why when the small crises come, the marriage goes by water below. You will only be able to endure the great difficulties, the small fights of every day, big and small, if we know that we are in the right place. If I'm living my life the right way, this is important. Find out what our place is in the world and do everything so that we have the right to be there. Living the right way in this existential consistency. This is because this is what God wants from us. God enables us from gifts, possibilities, so that we can go to the right place. And there we realize, if a dog were a teacher, you would learn many things from him. For example, when someone you love comes home, run your encounter. Lose an opportunity to go for a walk. It's true, the dog is always ready, right? If the door opened, he already. And we are not always, right? Sometimes we are leaning there on the couch, in that laziness, snoring, smoking. Never miss, then, an opportunity to walk. And the first, when someone arrives in house, run to receive the one who arrived. Just like the puppy does. Allow yourself to try the fresh wind of the wind on your face. Show others that they are invading their territory. The dog is a little angry, right? Take a nod in the middle of the day, 15 minutes, and stretch before you get up. This, if we could, would do it every day and all the time, right? Run, jump, play, enjoy life. Try to get along with the next one and let people touch you. Do not bite when a simple growl solves the situation. I found this phrase great. Do not bite when a simple growl will solve the situation. And truth, from time to time we have to give a growl to remember that we are alive, right? But it doesn't bite very easily. Do not lose patience very easily. A good growl already serves. It will already solve your problem. On hot days, stop and roll in the grass. Drink plenty of liquids and pour under the shadow of a tree. I think you should jump this second part, roll in the grass, because I think a lot of people won't be doing it. Drink plenty of liquids, keep learning from dogs, lying under the shadow of a tree, if you have this tree with privacy for you to lie down. I also recommend it. When you are happy, dance, enjoy and balance your whole body. As we have no tail to swing, we have to swing the body. This movement in life is too important. You exercise, you will have a dynamic life, right? Unless you have that lazy dog. We're not talking about this dog, do you? The dog that teaches us is that agile dog, which is always ready to do something, or to watch, to protect, to be happy, to run with the owner. The lazy dog doesn't come in here. No matter how many times the other hurts you, don't feel guilty. Go back and make up again. It's true, right? The dog, you can hurt him. He always has a reserve to be able to offer the one who hurt him. By the way, the other day I was watching a little email, a joke, a little mean. What is the difference between your wife and the dog? What is the difference between your wife and dog? You know? It's simple. Just leave the two locked inside the trunk of the car and open. What to receive you with joy? Leave a second. About 2-3 minutes. When you open, you will see who will be happy to have found you. Then, it's the dog. Enjoy the pleasure of a long walk. Oh my God. Guys, first of all, the walk is a purification of the mind. I remember when I lived in Belo Horizonte, I did every saint day. I was very faithful to this activity. Lived near Pampula Lagoon, he lived there in Jaragua. In the plateau, more precisely, and I was walking there in Pampula Lagoon. Even when I was in Belo Horizonte last week, I remembered my walking times. You know, it was at that time of 45 minutes, 1 hour, that I did all my mental hygiene, that I played all out, and walking and allowing the wind of the late afternoon. Right. That moment of walking could not only do well to my body, but also do well to my soul. Sometimes we are getting too heavy, and when you're too heavy, do you know what you do? Take a shower, change clothes. We'll take a walk of about 20 minutes. Choose a place that is quieter. If you have a car, take the car, go there. If not, take a bike. Choose a place for you to walk alone. Who knows how to walk a good pace to work, also the cardiovascular. And there at that moment you will have the opportunity to throw away your excesses. It does our life very well. Everyone who has the habit of walking, either in the morning, in the afternoon, the time you can, always is good for the body and the mind. Feed with taste and enthusiasm. Eat just enough. And truth. The dog, after he is satiated, is no use offering a lot to him. He will look, can be the most tasty dish he will look, and he will despise. We are not always like this, right? We ate. There is a pudding. After you have eaten all this oil, the oils are already in the direction of the pudding and already tear a piece of it. You already start eating with oils, right? Or past that litura, that apple in your mouth, you just eaten your grilled steak. All light. That's salad. Eating too much kills us slowly, right? Then we need to be careful with our diet too. Be loyal. Be loyal to your friends, the people you work with. Be loyal, even with the one you first found. You know, my people, I've tried it. How good in life we trust people. Sometimes I found that person. Today they are making a budget for me. How good it is. Not to be suspicious, right? But I depend on the loyalty of the other. I seize this lesson. If I bring to my life, I want to be loyal. I want to be true. I don't want to take advantage of anyone. I don't want to betray anyone. I don't want to deceive anyone. If we make this commitment, if we live this commitment, and the other too, the world gets better. When the other is loyal, even with the one he has never seen in life, it's a budget, and I trust me. The other day I was watching a report on television, right? They took a washing machine, ripped a little thing there, simple thing, a pig, moved, and started to call the technicians. So, to test the coach's honesty, because when you don't know, I don't know anything about washing machine, and I have no obligation to know. But then that business is not working. It stops. We look at it and say, now my God in heaven, what is happening to it? Then all the technicians who passed, all of them, it's I know what in the engine. Then the other, it is likely to be the current of I don't know what. All this was absurd for reform, until finally Honest has arrived and said, no, your washing machine has absolutely nothing wrong. It is just this Pinot that is separated. Someone must have taken off without realizing it. It was a simple thing. All the other sectors had noticed, but they were taking advantage of the situation. This is sad. I remember, the report showed, we're more than 8 dishonest and only 1 honest. And you still asked him, how much do I owe to the Lord? He looked and said, no, nothing. Because there is nothing to get ready. I had just gathered the 2 wires that were turned off. In life, this is a price that is priceless. And truth, when you find someone who is loyal, someone who is faithful, when you begin to think that the other may be fooling you, that the other is charging more than they should charge, that the other is enjoying you, it is very sad. It's not like this. So, be loyal. I want to be loyal all the time. I want to be loyal with the people who are with me. I want to be honest with them. I want to be true. And if we assume this commitment, which dogs have, is from the dog to be loyal to its owner, if we learn this from them, we then start to change this world. Never intends to be that you are not. Although I know a dog that he thinks he is big, he thinks he is brave. There is no dog like that stomach right of this size. But usually the dog knows who he is, knows what he can. We need to commit our life, to commit our strength to be who we are. There are a lot of people who waste their lives wanting to be someone else. Pay attention to what the other has and does not look at what they have. He keeps looking at the garden of the other's house all the time, but does not observe the terrain he has and the garden he can do himself. It is jealous of the boyfriend that the other has, is jealous of the husband, is jealous of the job. Stop. Every time we live in envy, every time we get envious, we are somehow less. We have reduced our ability to be, because we are spending energy on a feeling that adds absolutely nothing. Envy makes no one happy. I've never seen one envious to be happy. On the other hand, I've found people who didn't have many things, who didn't have many gifts, but could be happy with what she had received. Why? Why? Because they worked well. They articulated well what it was. They strive to be what they are. This is very important. We don't miss the opportunity to be who we are. And most important of all, when you are nervous or sad, be silent. Stick around. No. When someone is nervous or sad, be silent. Stay nearby and shows that you are there to comfort. True friendship does not accept imitations. Very beautiful, see? The dog gives us a wonderful life lesson. We can learn from them, and we can bring to the context of our humanity the wisdom of animals. Thank you for joining us today at Path of Faith. Your engagement means the world to us. So please take a moment to leave your comments, like this video, share it with friends and family, and subscribe for more enriching content.